So very good afternoon. Evening, can I say? Evening, halfway. First of all, thank you for being here. I understand that we are the last session, so that's, it's a celebrating last session is fantastic. Then you can have your dinner ready, so everybody's waiting for that. So I would like to quickly go into the presentation, please, because I want to take you to a little ride, if that's okay with you. You have seen a lot of information about high-end exclusive products. The iconic, the Chanel, and all of that, that's minuscule compared to the demand that you might have in Andorra and in Spain. One of the slides said 200 compared to 85,000. Remember that data? It's exactly what I'm talking about. I want to talk about the other 84,800. You have heard the 200 presentation. I give you the rest of the presentation. All right, we have had status anxiety. It's part of modern life, as again, Western modern life. But I think we need to think of health anxiety. Post-COVID, obviously, that's a result of COVID, but also pre-COVID, we already have had discussions about health in a complex way. And I like this little word, which is exhaustipated. You know that expression? I don't want to read it out because it's impolite, but you know what it means. That you just don't even care anymore because you're so tired. In terms of traveling for health, and I heard the GWI data, which is quite entertaining since they learned from wellness tourism from us, so it is good to have the confirmation. The medical side and the wellness side, because you heard that Iconic is now looking at the medical side, we have invasive, non-invasive, and we have different levels of engagement. And what's changed significantly, that in the healthy services spectrum, people used to be happy to have it, whereas in health tourism, especially medical, they needed to have it. Don't forget, most people don't want to travel for medical reasons, but they need to, because they have access, price, specialist, and of course in wellness we want to, because it's voluntary. What's changed, that the healthy services became a want to. I'm really interested in something which is more on the healthy side as an alternative. So there's a significant change. In terms of products, I'm not going to read everything. You can certainly make all the photos that everybody does in presentations, so you don't need to make notes. Don't forget, healthy services is the vast majority of the market. The rest is small. And when you have such focused products that we heard before, is the niche of the niche of the niche, which is nothing wrong about, but you shouldn't have expectations that it will change the whole destination, it will change the whole offer. Of course, they can be flagships, but the vast majority of the people should also benefit from your destination's health-improving services. I think what's very important for everybody to understand that there's a difference between volume and value. Volume is when you talk about number of guests. You heard today, oh, wonderful, there's so many numbers, it's better than 2019, all that. That's brilliant. And then you have the value when the Chanel and all those products, where you have a set number, not very high, and they want to provide the personal and the health value. You can't really mix the two. Either you do value and improve and focused, or volume when you make some small changes. So what people buy and what they actually pay for. It's not semantics. You buy services, your bill will have rooms, F&B, services, treatments. That's what you're actually buying. But you are paying for the benefits and the values. I want to look better. I want to look younger. I want to be faster. That's what you're actually paying for, but it's not what you buy. I know it's an English semantics, but it's a massive difference. When you're pushing services, you want people to buy them, but people don't want to pay for them. You know the difference? Or is it too late for a Wednesday afternoon discussion? I don't think it is, because that's what we should be talking about. All right, I think it's absolutely essential that every destination, including Andorra, you're ready to understand that we have different engagement options in my health-improving services. Just a taster, just some fun, someone who is occasional guest, someone who is a dedicated, and someone who is fully committed. Obviously, Iconic will be the fully committed people. But we also have services for those who are accidental. I will give you a couple of examples. And this is the idea. Again, it's a photo option for everyone. You have either number of guests or spending or value per guest. Make a choice. Don't assume that you can mix them. They're totally different behavior, understanding, of readiness, interest. Neither of them is good or bad, it's just factual. Either this or that. And of course, you need to develop your product accordingly. I think in health, we need to talk about health equity, that we are enabling our guests to have the best optimal health they could have. So not offering everybody the same treatment as what hyper-personalization would be. You see the different shoes? That's equity. So everybody is the same eye height, because already height differences create hierarchy of how you relate to everybody else. So understand what equity is. All right, talking about young generation, they want to feel good, not to look good. It's a massive difference. Are you offering the necessary services or benefits that they can feel better in one way or another? And I personally don't believe in trends, because what's relevant in Andalusia, definitely not relevant in Basque Country. Or what's relevant in Bretagne may not be relevant in Vorarlberg, right? I think it's factual, am I right? So if there's the next global 10 things, don't even read it, because it's made up. I know exactly how they go. Be careful about your market and segment, because it could be a totally relevant interest in your segment, in your market. Any French speakers? Caroline? Yeah? Déjà vu and jamais vu? You know the difference? Déjà vu is what happens in wellness tourism most of the time. Yes, I've seen it before, just a different location. Whereas we need to create a jamais vu, which is, oh, what's this? Give me a story. What's happening now? So that's a totally different approach there. Have you ever done yoga with lemurs? Anyone? You can do it with goats, puppies, whatever it is. It's fun. At the same time, doing some yoga activity. Of course, the hardcore yogic people will not do it. Slow awareness, anybody? It's called nature cinema. In psychology, you need to sit, you need to engage, you need to look, you need to value. It's interpretation. No one calls it wellness, but we know how it works, because what the result is. Wild swimming, anyone? The latest craze? Wild swimming, imagine that. It's basically swimming in lakes and rivers and the sea. Is it new? No. But the urban population, it sounds weird. Don't do wild skiing, obviously, am I right? That you don't, are not advocated. Wild sitting, that's my favorite. Wild sitting, as in sitting in nature. You might say it's just marketing. Yes, partially it is, but certainly has an impact on that. Think of tech-free destinations. Think of giving something covering your mobile phone. Yes, people will take it off. But you're instantly creating an engagement and involvement. Being idle and do absolutely nothing. Do you have signs in Andorra like that? Anyone? Do you? Do nothing. When was the last time yet you did nothing? I mean, literally nothing. Do you remember? I doubt it. And we need to learn that. Again, healing landscapes in hospitals. We have health destination Andorra. Do you have healing landscapes in hospitals? This is the location to do it. You need to create them. You know, it doesn't happen by accident. And land art yoga, does it look good? Don't imagine the added layers to it, just because of the land art. All right, I think as summarizing, make a decision, are you going to do micro-experiences, as in the 84,800 can also benefit from it, or you want to do the flagships, or you want to do the, let's say, healthization, healthified services all across F&B, rooms, leisure, entertainment, and everything. Which one of that you're going to do? We have brilliant flagships, channels, and all those places, brilliant, but I'm potentially more interested in the rest, because I'm interested in the 84,800 as well. As a destination, that's for you, as a destination, this is your job, to coordinate all of that. I'm not going to go through, we don't have the time, but this is the engagement, we need to create those, of how many tasks and opportunities you have to create a well-being landscape as a destination-wise. And really, summarizing it up, You can choose to be pearl shell, as in you look good, but you're actually empty. No one talks about pearls. It's just a shell. This is the vast majority of hotels. They look fabulous, but there's not much really in them. And also you look at the various other aspects to it. And since my minutes are over in a minute, this is typical, and if you want to make a photo, make that. Anytime you want to invest, make sure you don't make that mistake. Underestimating the TREFPA, contributing to the total spending, and in the end, underperforming in terms of guest well-being. Make sure that you go through and you optimize accordingly. Why? Because we would like to have an anti-age Rittersport, but it doesn't exist. Does it exist in Channel? I don't think so. No? We need, oh, come on now. Seriously, with some leaves and rabbit food. We need to talk about the anti-age Rittersport, all right? With Channel. Why? Because sometimes it's enough just to have a little writing on the wall. Don't show the mirrors. Thank you. As a bottom line, as another topic to make the necessary photos of, do your homework. Know your assets, develop the values, and do it according to various segments. Don't just do a potpourri of services. In health tourism, especially the medical side, people travel for success rates. Don't care about price. Success rate, show me, evidence. 82%? Okay, 95% I'm coming. How much is it? I don't care. Success rate, not prices. And of course, in the wellness side, it's a little bit different of that. And also, don't forget the 84,800 people. Gracias. It's yours.
Bé, bona tarda a tothom. Gràcies per la invitació. Bueno, una miqueta nosaltres també faré la presentació, igual que el David es tria en català, perquè m'ha comentat que érem dels pocs de la tarda que avui eren d'aquí locals i amb la qual cosa doncs començarem parlant una miqueta de què és l'Andorra Health Destination, que segurament molts de vostès han sentit a parlar però no saben exactament què fem, com ho fem i com estem organitzats. Primer de tot m'agradaria repassar una miqueta el que farem en aquesta breu presentació. Simplement començarem sabent com va néixer l'Andorra Health Destination, per acabar veient un vídeo promocional de la nostra associació. Finalment repassarem una miqueta també els membres que en formen part i també una miqueta anirem analitzant com aterrem les tendències que hi ha a nivell mundial en turisme i com hem intentat adaptar-les a l'oferta d'Andorra. Lògicament estem a l'inici de la nostra associació i per això estem aquí, per intentar buscar avui un punt de partida. Finalment doncs, els hi presentarem els nostres petits productes i intentarem, László, que després ens donguis una miqueta de feedback de com podem millorar la nostra proposta. Ens sents bé, no? No? Ok. Més que res perquè després si hem de parlar i hem de conversar serà difícil. No sé si podem... Em sembla que has d'apretar el botó. Press the button here. Més que res perquè si començo a parlar entre que parlo ràpid i parlo català anirem malament. Bé, doncs com dèiem, sí, László, it's okay? No? A veure si podem... Ok, perfecte. Bé, una miqueta el que abans també havia tractat la Judit a l'inici del panell d'abans. Rebem 8 milions de visitants, els quals hem vist que el 34% estan, en aquest cas, focalitzats o busquen o venen a Andorra per tendències de salut, de benestar. Aquest fet fa que vam estar analitzant, quan va néixer l'Andorra Health Destination prepandèmia, que la gent s'estava 3 dies a Andorra i vam dir, ostres, com podem intentar complementar la nostra oferta turística a nivell de salut. I per aquest motiu, conjuntament amb Andorra Business, va néixer aquesta Andorra Health Destination, fruit d'aquesta col·laboració público-privada, que 18 membres, 18 socis en formen part a dia d'avui i que intentem, doncs, més a més, anar creixent amb l'oferta que anem variant. En aquest precís moment el que m'agradaria és fer-los un petit avenç de què és l'Andorra Health Destination. Doncs ja ho hem vist, una miqueta és el resum del que hem estat parlant al llarg de tot el dia. Es repeteixen molt aquests conceptes de connectar amb l'entorn, de les experiències, de tota aquesta oferta de salut. Jo penso que a Andorra aquí tenim una gran possibilitat per créixer i diversificar l'economia del nostre país. Com dèiem abans, els membres que en formen part, 18 centres, que com poden veure repartits amb diverses bosses. Ens agrada repartir-ho en dues parts, la part més de salut i la part més de wellness termal. Organitzar els nostres membres en funció de la seva oferta, del que estan oferint. A nivell de salut, molta gent, quan anem i presentem l'Andorra Health Destination arreu, ens diuen però exactament quin producte de salut ofereix Andorra. Moltes vegades pensen que potser no fem coses molt innovadores, però dintre d'aquí dels nostres membres tenim gent que es dedica a la cirurgia oncològica, a la medicina regenerativa, a la traumatologia, a l'estètica, a la dermatologia, a la medicina integrativa. És a dir, tenim un ampli ventall d'especialitats mèdiques que complementen aquesta oferta de salut. També tenim la part de wellness termal, sens dubte, Andorra, destí d'aigua termal, destí de gran oferta hotelera que s'està renovant constantment, que està apostant per tots aquests tractaments d'espa i d'activitats que connecten amb la natura. I tot això, com dèiem abans, ho volíem escalar, és a dir, anar, en aquest cas, a la tendència mundial i intentar veure què és el que estem fent bé a Andorra i què és el que hem de millorar, perquè, com els explicàvem abans, estem a l'inici d'aquesta pel·lícula. En el context de creixement del turisme de salut, m'ha agradat fer la típica prova que fan tots els ponents d'avui en dia. Si no busques a ChatGPT, no ets ningú. Llavors, he preguntat, escolta'm, quines són les tendències, què és el que busca el turista de salut quan va pel món? I una de les coses que m'ha dit és tecnologia mèdica d'avantguarda, això amb les cèl·lules mare ho cobrim, infraestructura sòlida, tenim un país petit però que cada cop està creixent més i també s'està apostant per crear nous centres mèdics. També tenim, em deia, serveis centrats en el benestar físic i mental. Sens dubte, després de la pandèmia, la part mental l'hem de treballar i l'estem treballant i també tenim molts programes de connexió en parella, de psicologia, que també treballem i també, sens dubte, la part que connecta amb la natura, la part de ioga, la part de meditació i molta telemedicina, que va una miqueta amb la línia que comentàvem abans. Per tant, què és el que estem veient? Estem veient que tenim o hi ha un interès de molts professionals de la salut per establir-se a Andorra, per muntar nous centres, i això també forma part de l'estratègia de govern, que és una de les coses que principalment ens fan il·lusió. Per què? Perquè el govern està, en aquest cas, treballant dintre, per exemple, del Ministeri de Salut. Hi ha un sector estratègic que és la biotecnologia, la biomedicina, i per tant aquest fet fa que necessitem que el govern segueixi apostant per això, i el fet és que Andorra Business hi dona suport des de l'inici. A banda de tot això, també ho complementem amb una oferta hotelera de màxim nivell i que constantment, com dèiem abans, aposta pels millors tractaments de wellness a oferir i aprofitar tota l'aigua termal que hem parlat. Si ens n'anem a veure quines són les preferències o què trobem que el nostre turista de salut quan visita Andorra coneix, és principalment que busca propostes d'alt valor afegit, propostes customitzables, propostes, en aquest cas, que connecten amb l'experiència que ho hem dit moltes vegades, del país i de la natura i de la muntanya. I, per tant, estem davant d'una possibilitat de conglomerar aquestes dues coses per oferir un producte únic aprofitant el nostre enclau enmig del Pirineu. I penso que no seria prudent acabar aquesta presentació sense, en aquest cas, anar a veure els reptes de futur. Important el fet que dèiem abans, Andorra està apostant per la recerca biomèdica. És un dels punts estratègics del Ministeri de Salut i esperem que molt aviat del Ministeri de Turisme, que avui els puguem convèncer perquè vegin que el potencial que tenim a Andorra és molt elevat, que ja tenim una bona part d'un substrat, però hem de créixer i hem de seguir apostant per aquesta part de salut i benestar. I per què ho dic això? Perquè la medicina personalitzada, de la qual han parlat molts dels ponents abans, és un reflex del que es busca el turista de salut i, per tant, la podem oferir. També, si apostem per la recerca biomèdica, tenim l'opció de posar Andorra en el mapa d'una recerca puntera del valor afegit, en la qual el turista que ens visita és un turista d'un alt target, no és un turista de masses, no és un turista que vam perdre durant la pandèmia i, per tant, és un turista que tampoc està estacionalitzat. Estem davant d'un procés, com bé sabeu, del canvi climàtic que està afectant a l'estacionalitat i al temps de la durada de la temporada de neu. Per tant, aspirem, des de la part de salut, a que a poc anem creixent envers i complementant l'oferta de turisme de neu i de muntanya que, sens dubte, tenim i hem de seguir apostant des del país. I, per tant, també crec que el tamany del país, Andorra és un país molt petitó, ens dona aquesta capacitat de testejar, de provar coses. És a dir, que la gran sort que tenim és que podem demanar usos compassius, podem demanar possibilitats d'aportar i d'agafar de la normativa europea assajos clínics que s'estan produint arreu del món i importar-los al nostre país, perquè els podem aplicar, perquè els podem fer i perquè comptem amb un sistema sanitari dels millors del món. I això crec que ho hem d'aprofitar. Per acabar, simplement, hem de seguir poder competir. I per poder competir hem d'apostar. I, per tant, penso que tenim talent i tenim oferta. I per acabar, simplement m'agradaria intentar fer un esforç a la millora constant de la nostra oferta. Estem a l'inici. Hem començat fa 3 anys i mig i hem començat en un context difícil de pandèmia, però aquí estem. I tenim grans acompanyants avui que ens poden demostrar i que ens poden explicar com porten tot aquest background i tot aquest temps treballant i apostant pel turisme de salut. I, per tant, ja per acabar, simplement explicar-vos com resumim o com ofertem. És a dir, ofertem a través d'especialitats, ofertem, com us deia abans, dividint molt bé la part mèdica i la part wellness termal. Entenem que van dirigides a el que dèiem abans, al volum i a la proposta de valor diferencial, a les necessitats de viatjar o a les necessitats de poder gaudir i complementar. I, finalment, el que hem volgut exemplificar-vos és alguns dels paquets que oferim o que poden trobar els turistes de salut quan visiten l'Andorra Health Destination o quan visiten el nostre país. Tractaments, per exemple, integratius, que van i que busquen, en aquest cas, treballar tots els pilars de la salut. Lògicament, com dèiem abans, l'experienciabilitat de reconnectar amb l'ambient, amb l'entorn, amb la natura, amb uns mateixos, treballar el mindfulness, aprofitar totes les grans experiències i grans zones d'aigua termal que tenim i, finalment, no renunciar a una part molt clínica, molt mèdica, que crec que Andorra, gràcies a centres, per exemple, com Icònic, pot acabar atraient quan abans no érem referents amb això. Però tenim un sistema sanitari molt potent, tenim uns centres molt potents i crec i penso que estem en un moment decisiu per seguir treballant pel turisme de salut. Moltíssimes gràcies i ara... Ara sí, no? Ara sí que m'entens? Sí, no? Ara em sent bé. No, més que res que m'han demanat que ho fes en català perquè era l'idioma oficial d'Andorra i llavors jo m'ho he preparat tot en català. László, primer de tot, thank you very much for coming. M'agradaria, primer de tot... Sí, no, important perquè jo t'entenc a tu però tu a mi no. Llavors, m'agradaria sobretot parlar o m'agradaria tractar des de l'experiència que tens en els anys que portes treballant pel turisme de salut. I perdona que ho personalitzi amb Andorra, però com a Health Destination a Andorra hem de fer això. Com podem o com creus que podem millorar la nostra oferta de tot el que has vist que fem amb la teva experiència?
I'm not speaking Catalan, I'm sorry. But, you might say nothing or everything, which is the very Dodonic, like a Greek god. The situation, what do you want to have? You want to create the flagships, and even if it's a small volume, but the value creation is going to be extensive and carries all through every service you do, or you want to have the volume, or you want to be somewhere halfway between those two. It really depends on what you want to achieve. In this business, you can sell literally anything, as long as then you have some evidence, and Chilla is here from ESPA somewhere. As long as there is evidence, there is data, there is success rates, there is information about how it works and what it does. And you have the very high end, which is, we can sell everything at the very high end, 24-karat gold treatments just to look more beautiful, apparently, down to very simple and basic walking barefoot on the side of the mountain to earthing. You know, but you wouldn't call it as wellness. I think what I advise to everyone, including you too, don't get stuck on terminologies. First of all, terminologies you cannot necessarily translate well. You know, what is benestar may not translate that well to Wohlfühlen, which is German, or whatever it is in bien-être, if it's in French. It may be totally different meaning. Certain languages don't even have the difference between wellness and well-being, so forget that. Think of whatever your offering does. I think what's really important is for all of you to have the product knowledge and the trigger knowledge. Triggers are those things that people eventually will respond to. They're not necessarily aware of it, but that's how they respond to. And this is how they buy certain services in the end. So understand the products, what the products can do, and then potentially you can use the term wellness if you want to, or health, or sometimes it's just heritage, sometimes tradition, sometimes lifestyle, depends. But make sure that you understand what hugging trees means in terms of energy, in terms of connection, and then you may want to call it wellness. So going back to the original question, you might be doing the best thing you can do already, or you might say that that's a good learning curve. We might need to go to that direction because I also want to have some other kind of demand. So it really depends on what your dreams or objectives are. You know, you might say that I want to have more spending from existing markets. I don't want more guests. I want to have those guests either stay longer or spend more, or both. Well, how can I do it? Then you create rituals that they can engage themselves in terms of, I don't know, something stupid like a mountain goat ritual. Why not? And then you have a lovely story of it, which goes back 427 years to someone's grandmother who created that goat thing. I don't know. Seriously, I don't know. But you can, as long as you dig, and that's called well-being archaeology, you go back God knows how many years, and you look for traces. When we heard, I think, Carlos, that we should expand the meaning or the definition of wellness, I am totally opposing that. I think we should decrease, because anything and everything you do, now you are in your mindset that, yes, all right, they're already running 2 minutes over time, so hopefully they finish soon, and then we can go home and get ready for dinner. That thought contributes to your well-being. Your being here contributes to your well-being professionally, or you learn something, or the lunch, or the dinner, or the snow. Everything contributes to your well-being one way or another. So having more things in wellness, that means everything is wellness. And that loses meaning altogether. So I definitely not suggest that, because that's just a word without meaning. Really think of what you want your guests to understand, story-wise, benefit-wise, and potentially call it wellness if you want to. Or health, or well-being, I don't care. But you should know what you're doing and why you're doing it, and how that works in your guests. Long answer, I'm sorry.
No. It's perfect. De tot això que estàs dient, que crec que és molt i molt interessant per agafar idees, tenim clar que la nostra particularitat és que som un país molt petit, però que contem amb coses com la natura, com parlàvem abans, i contem amb diverses varietats que fan d'un país diferent. Tu creus que Andorra, des de la teva opinió i la teva experiència, hauria d'apostar més, ja sé que és difícil i que dius que no tens la resposta, però hauria d'apostar més per un sector salut especialitzat on poder testejar, o hem de seguir replicant el model que podem trobar a molts llocs, molt experienciat i molt anant a posar focus a la part de la natura i de seguir connectant amb la natura? És a dir, són models combinables, ho hem parlat abans i ho has estat explicant, però cap a on hem d'anar? És a dir, si tinguessis una vareta màgica, cap a on posicionaries Andorra en aquests moments? Perquè crec que tenim l'oportunitat encara d'enfocar.
So basically, you repeated your question. Nice try. Look, you already have established the sports medicine, the training camps, the various specialty areas. You have the hot springs, obviously, you have nature. You could add witchcraft if you wanted, why not? But I would certainly keep to what already have done and to provide the evidence and the data so it's convincing. It's not just a marketing a communication cliche, but you can tell me why going to Caldea, for example, is different than going to Terme, whatever it is in Austria. Tell me the reason. It has pools, yes. It has sauna, yes. It has indoor, outdoor, yes. So, convince me. Not me, anyone. And it's the same as with the others. Seriously, I wasn't joking. If you can tell that in Iconic, spending there 2 weeks or 1 week will improve your, let's say, oxygen capacity by 20%, for sure, like 95% of the guests would have increased oxygen capacity, absorbent capacity, people will queue. Give the evidence. Give what it does, not what it is, because people don't know, except the very, very highly specialized market. They would know, and of course, most of the time, don't forget, in Iconic, not the people who come decide to come. Someone else decides for them. Okay? Because you need to convince those to bring their sports persons here. So you're talking to different people, you're talking to a middleman, not to the actual consumer. So as long as you are systematic and you don't jump on cliches, whatever GWI is suggesting or whatever else is suggesting, read it, take it with a pinch of salt, and then translate it to yourself. I mean, I absolutely mean it. That it has a value added. It's not in a cliche way value added, but you can stand that should you do this and this for this long, will have the impact of this and this by, let's say, for majority of the guests. Mm-hmm. As long as you have the evidence, you can double your prices because people are eager. And when you look at the latest Generation Z data, they suggest, give me the reason and give me the exact impact. Forget the blah, blah, PR, I don't care. What exactly is going to happen to me and why is this good for me? Forget the cliches and the black stones on the back and all of that. Don't care.
I em sembla que ja per acabar, perquè se'ns està acabant el temps, László, sé que és molt difícil, però cap a on anem? És a dir, cap a on creus que ara el turisme de salut, de benestar, anirà d'aquí als propers 5 anys? Quines creus que de totes les tendències que avui hem parlat, creus que per tu seran les que triomfaran en el futur? I ja sabem que depèn de cada país i depèn de cada sector i que hem de treballar molt l'aspecte comunicatiu per atraure i per intentar formular la millor proposta de valor per aconseguir els turistes. Però si tu diguessis, mira, tinc molt clar que anem cap allà o cap allà, cap a on dibuixaries aquest roadmap?
Probably you know, if you're in healthcare in any way or form, that participatory health, which is a terminology, not integrative because the solution-wise, that participatory health, as in customers/patients are more involved and proactive in terms of looking for solutions and looking for even treatment. That's certainly something that we can expect, that they will already come to you and say, well, can you please suggest to go which of the 2 places would be best for me, because I did the homework. And of course, the medical specialist will be very annoyed, saying that, sorry, I'm the specialist. Dr. Google may not give you the best answers. But anyway, that's what you need to get ready to. So they will Google it and AI, whatever that is. As long as whatever you are suggesting in medical tourism, if you can promise good results, you can sell anything. If you can promise it, not by anecdotal evidence, but actual evidence. Wellness is a little bit different. You can sell the most stupid thing ever. Let's say mountain goat yoga while you're hugging trees at the same time. Yes, they will have guests coming because they're just interested. Of course, you have the very, very sophisticated, very focused, committed, who just want to go to vegan yoga retreats. So anything flies, but the more sophisticated you are, the less number of guests you can expect. That's absolutely certain. You might have 1 or 2 patients in... Yes, I understand the message. I need to close. You might have only 2 patients coming for a certain treatment, but probably that will provide 30% of your treatment volume in value in a year because it's such complicated procedures those guys, two patients have, and they will be your ambassadors for the rest of the treatments. So again, whatever you want to achieve, but do it very systematically. Don't think, oh, well, throwing in some Thai massage, throwing in some Ayurveda, a little bit of TCM, just why not? And also, that's a potpourri. Don't do potpourri, please. And what Vanessa said, do your homework. We had this discussion during lunch. Put your time and money into product development and value development. I think our colleagues from Sheno would confirm that. And then put your money into concrete and to technology. Because you will find a technology that supports your concept or your protocol. But put your money and time into that and develop your approach to health. And then not like build a building and then find some treatments and find some equipment that would fit in that space that the architect created. Do it the other way around. Do the concept development first and spend time there.
Molt bé. Doncs moltíssimes gràcies. Crec, si no vaig errat, que estem fora de temps i em sembla que amb això clausurem aquesta taula. Moltíssimes gràcies. Thank you very much for coming.